Okay, I hope you liked Jeff Snyder talking about Oscar nominations. This is a one-stop shop for pop culture, folks, because we'll do that, and we're going to take a hard pivot and talk about the first part of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. It is 3 parts. This is the first part. We're going to go off of the Peacock version, which is the uncensored and extended. So you get to hear Lisa Barlow use expletives, and I've got to say, it's glorious. It truly is worth the pain for Peacock, the streaming service. And listen, it's 3 parts. I said this before, but I was just rewatching the reunion, and the first part was good. There were some good moments. I think we came off an explosive finale, and it let the air out of the bag, the dramatic tension a little bit. So you got to build that back up, and that's what's so unfortunate that we have to wait a week in between reunions. But it was good. And already, today we'll get into Bronwyn and Lisa went back and forth on social media, because they're grown-ups and, airing it out on social media, which is wild based on, stuff that was talked about in this reunion episode. But I thought it was good. I thought everybody looked beautiful. I thought Whitney was very overly tan. I think that's okay to say, but they all looked beautiful. There is about 5 minutes added to the Peacock version. And so we'll go into what that is. But I don't know. Like I'm getting sad that Salt Lake is almost done for the season. Like it truly, I'm like, oh man. But I will say I just did an hour Patreon live and we had a blast. But I got to say, I said this last week, we got to get boots on the ground at Salt Lake. I've got to go to Salt Lake City. I think it is imperative as not a detective, but as what is this? Just somebody that studies people. This is for a psychology experiment. I need to go to Salt Lake City. I need to go on these mean streets of Salt Lake. I need to find out what the vibe is because it feels like it's potentially evil. It feels like there is a darkness in Salt Lake. I don't know, but also at the same time, magical. It's a magical darkness. Would you agree with me? There is a magical darkness, and it is a compliment to each one of these ladies, truly, that I want to know what the truth is. I want to know everybody's finances now. I want to know who's telling the truth, who's lying. I think Bronwyn got dinged this episode because I think she was caught in a lie because the jewelry segment of this, I think she had to backtrack a little bit on Watch What Happens Live, which she was on last night, and it just didn't add up. And I hate that because I love Bronwyn so much, but I think, obviously a lot of these ladies, they've all lied at a certain point. But Bronwyn, I think, definitely got caught in a lie. Lisa Barlow, though, just the resorting to tears at every chance. Lisa Barlow is just a dynamo. I mean, I truly love Lisa. She is one of my favorite housewives, and I say this every week, but I rarely agree with her. But I'm just fascinated that Lisa Barlow exists in the world. Like, she is truly unique. And the fact that she must be so magical in person, like each one of these ladies, it seems like, admits to wanting to be best friends with Lisa Barlow. Even Whitney still wants to mend fences with Lisa Barlow. At this point, if I were to advise Whitney, I would say, go it on your own. Just stick to your guns, believe in yourself. Do not try to work things out with her. You are better off. You will be stronger and you will be more respected in the long run. Let Lisa Barlow come to you eventually. Now one of our favorite newcomers, Brittany or Brittany Bateman, she is not in this episode 1 because she is a friend of this season. Now, there is a rumor, I don't know if this is official or not, but I did read that they picked up everybody in this cast, including Brittany, but Brittany is still a friend of next season. I don't know if that is official or not, so that is just something that I read, but I want to put that out that might be false. But I was kind of hoping that Brittany, if that is true, was a full-time housewife, just because that's another one. I'm real curious. Now, I was messaging with Brittany and emailing and texting, and I thought we were going to get her on the show, and then Bravo got involved. So I don't think, by the way, hopefully I'll get to talk to her after the third part of this reunion. But listen, they protect their intellectual property. They can't, but I want to know more about Brittany. Don't you? I mean, have you watched her social media? It's truly unique. Also, thank you for all the messages and potential enjoyment that you got out of me trying to figure out circle jerks. I'm still trying to figure it out. I've drawn a circle and I've tried to. In fact, I was at Jeff Lewis the other day, and me and Shane were talking before the show. I was like, "How do these circle jerks work? Like, what is the?" It really is something, because I just feel like you have to, like, is it planned? You can't. You've got to plan the circle jerk, right? You don't just. It doesn't. It's not improv. Like, you can't just be like, hey, you want to try a circle jerk? Like, I feel like there's got to be setup involved. Like, who's making sure it's like a good circle? Like, it could get sloppy. Anyways, that's the dirty stuff in my head. But there have been so many accusations thrown out about each one of these ladies. I just want a referee to tell me what's true and what's false. I want somebody to be like, Lisa, you're lying about this, but you're telling the truth about this. I want some, like, there's so much everybody commits so hard to the bit and so hard to these potential lies that you are truly left wondering, like, what is real and what is fake. And that's why I think killed me that Bronwyn got caught in that jewelry little fib. Even though she explained some of it, it still seemed a little wonky to me. And I hate that, because I want to be able to fully go, whatever Bronwyn says, I completely trust. Like, I want to be able to say that. And there was that one moment in this reunion that I just, Mary sat there. She didn't get involved that much, but I was so happy she participated. And obviously, I think next week we get into more of the Robert Jr. storyline. But it's great to have her there. It truly is unique to say I liked everybody out there on the stage, or I was interested at least to, Heather vacillates for me. Sometimes I really like her and sometimes I really don't. But I feel like they all play the Housewives game in different ways, but they're all playing the game. They're all playing the Housewives game, and they all want this, need this. Anyways, if anybody has more financial information about any of these ladies, send them to me. Alibaba. Meredith was weirdly quiet at moments of this. I don't know. Like, there are times of shots of Meredith where I thought, is Meredith somewhere else in her head? Like, is she on like a vacation in her head of like, I'm on the beaches of the Bahamas right now as I'm listening to them fight about Alibaba. Okay. By the way, I did a bunch of pods last night. Fire started, and then I was like on Fire TikTok, like watching the fire. Like, and I was up for like a couple hours. Didn't fall asleep till 3. I was up at like 7-ish, and I've done a bunch of interviews today. I did the Patreon live. So this could potentially, you're either going to watch me die on camera or audio, or it's going to be really fun and silly. It could be either one of those, but I don't think it's going to be one of those. So hopefully it's the fun, crazy stuff and not the dying stuff. Because I feel like I have there's a thin thread connecting me with reality. I cannot wait to finish this and go to bed. So with that being said, we start off the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion part 1, and we have clips from all of the episodes that, the 2 episodes that we have yet to see. So some of the things that we have to look forward to, I found interesting. We have Seth Marks. All the men are brought on stage at the end of the first episode, but we have Seth Marks saying, he's like, Angie just called my wife a bitch twice. Bitch. So there's like a scene where Seth's like, Angie just called my wife a bitch twice. Bitch, biatch. I love the way I love the way Seth Marks sounds when he curses. Anyway, so we have that small clip. And then we have Bronwyn talking about the emotional affair with Todd. And Heather's like, so he didn't do it or he did do it? Which is it, Bronwyn? And then another scene of Andy telling Seth, you have a side chick in Ohio? And Meredith going, I'm getting angry. This is a load of shit. I love all the reactions too, and the music is so perfect where it'll be like, dang, 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 dang. And then we see Brittany sitting next to Meredith, and, Brittany telling Mary Cosby, like, I'm sorry, like, you don't like me. And Mary Cosby saying, I have enough going on in my life. I don't need to take another wreck. And then we see Lisa clapping her hands, doing that patented Lisa Barlow hand clap of like, can I speak without you fucking yelling? And we have Whitney going, I want to burn this with Lisa fucking Barlow. And she has her arms outstretched like she's holding a bow and arrow. It seems intense. So I'm looking forward to that little scene that we saw a clip of. And then we have Bronwyn talking to Brittany at the reunion saying, this is the man you're in love with who talks to women like, and Andy says, I'd like to hear it. And Bronwyn reads what is probably a DM or a text, and it's from allegedly Jared Osman. And the text reads, you little bitch, I guarantee I am twice the size of any man you've ever been with. And Mary Cosby's face goes, zoinks! What? That's like a strong cup of coffee. This Jared Osman remember he got into Mary Cosby's DMs? But if Jared Osman really sent this to Bronwyn saying, I guarantee I'm twice the size, maybe he meant his waist. But I think I'm assuming he means his penis size. Sorry if you have the kids in the car. I'm sorry about this. I know it's a family show usually, but hey kids, a man has a thing called a penis. No, if Jared, the Osmonds get down, freaky town, man. Behind those Osmond gates, it's insanity. I couldn't believe Bronwyn reading this text, so I can't wait to see that scene. And how does Brittany how would Brittany be with Jared Osmond if that's what he's texting to people? And then Bronwyn saying, you say mean stuff about Angie's face on Twitter, Lisa. And Lisa's clapping again, going, oh, good, she's piping up. And then Lisa turning to Heather going, fuck her. And Bronwyn goes, fuck me. And Lisa goes, fuck you. 10 roof rusted. And Lisa's crying again going, you guys have fucked me over so many times. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion starts now. And we have all of the ladies coming out one by one. Lisa Barlow comes out and she's like, hola, Andy. Hola. Hola. And the set is all decorated. There's Bezos signage. Heather comes out. Whitney comes out. I think this dress on Whitney looks beautiful. This red dress, it's just that she overly spray tanned so that you don't know where the dress ends and where the skin begins. And then she does some kind of weird cousin bad weather handshake with Heather Gay, which I didn't love. But, I don't like Whitney. Whitney, just don't trust anybody. Don't trust Heather. Just stay strong. And then Whitney's like, hey, Lisa. And Lisa's like, hey, very cold. Bronwyn comes out and Bronwyn has these huge red puffy sleeves on her beautiful dress. I mean, truly looks amazing. So Whitney is sitting on the end of the couch and Bronwyn is sitting next to her. And, Andy's like, do you need help with the dress? Because there's a big train, big poofy sleeves. And, Whitney's like, I'm not going to be able to see over your sleeves. Bronwyn's like, too bad, I'm not moving. And you can see at certain points of the reunion, Whitney having to kind of look over the dress, look over Bronwyn's dress, which I loved. Mary Cosby comes out, looks beautiful. And then Opa, Angie K, our Greek goddess, and she even acknowledges, she's like, from bench warming bitch to first chair at the reunion because she gets that prime seat next to Andy and Lisa Barlow gets it on the other side. Now, Meredith comes out and has a little bit of there's a little Mob Wives aesthetic here. I love what she did to her hair. I think everybody looks beautiful on stage. So we do the countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, action, Andy. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 5 reunion. I'm Andy Cohen, joined by a group of Utah Phoenixes rising from the ashes of an explosive finale. And to avoid a repeat of Mexico, I want to point out up top, we are recording you all right now. A shared laugh from the group, just in case there was any confusion. And Lisa's like, ha 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 ha. Everybody's laughing. And then we get the hey, Meredith, congratulations on being a bat mitzvah. Thank you, Andy. You are the first bat mitzvah that I've seen arrive on a sleigh. And Meredith goes, me too, me too. And he's like, Heather, congratulations on the new book. It's called Good Time Girl. Are you giving Lisa a cut for giving you the title? And Heather's like, not a cut, but a mention. And Heather's voice is a little raspy like mine is now. And she lets us know she's been on a book tour all week. And Andy's like, how was your flight, by the way, Lisa? I'm assuming you didn't fly in 17C. And Lisa's like, there was no coach, but I am tagged in pictures every single day of people either in 17C or in first class. I like that now. This is my life now, Andy. People reach out when they fly. That is like, I connect with the audience. And we see Bronwyn reaction of like, she still hasn't forgotten about the coach flight back. Andy goes, hi, Whitney. Love your bling today. Are you wearing Prism jewelry? She's like, I am wearing Prism. This is from my new collection, Sacred Cross. And he's like, beautiful. Bronwyn, welcome to your first reunion. You're as understated as ever. And Bronwyn's like, I mean, did you expect different? I hear that Rihanna started following you and DM'd you on Instagram. Did she give you any advice for today? And Bronwyn's like, I'm going to channel Rihanna today and marry A$AP Rocky. No, she just says, I'm going to channel Rihanna today. Hey, Mary M. Kazi. And, you know, she's like, boy, it's a whole new Mary M. ziplining her way through this season. Unbelievable. And Mary's like, I'm here. I am clocked in, she says. And Andy's like, we were also touched about your powerful journey with your son, Robert Jr., which we'll get into a bit. But how is he doing? And Mary says, Robert is doing good. He's doing good. Thank God. Hey, Angie K, Andy says. And you look great. I hear through the grapevine that you and Brittany showed up in the same dress tonight. And Angie's like, can you believe it? So I guess you won the battle of the dress, Angie. And Angie's like, I guess I did, but I'm going to be good for the economy because I keep my clothes and don't return them. So, yeah. So we get a little zinger headed towards Lisa Barlow's direction with the returning clothes comment from Angie. So Angie takes this first chair very seriously. She's like, I am going to overperform and I'm going to immediately try to get a jab in before we actually get into a conversation topic. Andy says, Lisa and Angie, I'm a little worried for my ears, first of all, sitting next to both of you. And then I think the other thing is both of you, I have a hard time getting your attention sometimes. And I'm wondering if there's a safe word that we could come up with that would help just snap you back. And Lisa's like, Bezos. And Angie's like, Opa. And I'm like, circle jerk. So we got Bezos is the safe word for Lisa and Opa. And by the way, this was wild. So I was like, Opa, and I put it into the old Google. Opa, you guys, it's a Greek word. And I was like, what's the significance of that? And then it led me down. I did a 23andMe, and for Angie, and it came out that she was Greek, and that was huge news. I wonder if it'll come up at the reunion. Andy says, would this group like to set an intention for today? Is anyone coming into this wanting to specifically clear up a relationship, right? So this is like, set your intention for the reunion that Andy can help bring across the finish line. And Bron was like, yes, I mean, watch. I obviously it's my first season, so watching things back, I have a lot of things I know more now than I did when we filmed. So there's a lot of things I'm willing to start with my own apologies today and hopefully get some. And he's like, anyone else? And when he's like, I would love to be able to see over Bronwyn's sleeves on her dress, but I would also love to be able to have a conversation with Lisa, and I'd like to get to the bottom and the root of where the problems lie, and I would love to be able to get a word in, so I'd love to be able to have a conversation with you. And Lisa just goes, okay. And Andy goes, we're gonna get there. I wonder if Andy feels excitement, nausea, nervousness, exhaustion, like knowing that he has to get through a whole reunion at this point. So the first topics he starts talking about are Lisa and Angie's parenting, a podcast interview with Whitney, and Heather's loyalty. What do they all have in common? They all caused epic drama that ricocheted through the mountains of Salt Lake City, unleashing an avalanche of chaos which threatened to bury old friendships and new connections alike. Take a look. And then we get to our first clip package that goes through all of these storylines that, we saw them fighting, all those things that Andy just said. We go through all of the clips that again, Lisa like, that's a fucking low blow. Don't comment on my parenting. And then Meredith going to Heather, they're saying Whitney is using designs off Alibaba and selling them at like 10, 20 times the price and using the same pic stock photos. And Heather Gay overdid the reaction on that. If you watch back, she's like fully unhinges her jaw, like, "Argh." And then we see that clip of Whitney driving with Justin and Adam, the blogger, the podcaster and YouTuber, Adam Newell from Up and Adam. We hear his voice trying to help Whitney unravel the mystery if Lisa Barlow is behind this. And Adam says, I said, does this person have a liquor brand? And they said yes, which would lead us to believe that Lisa Barlow was behind this, right? Now, Adam, I believe, is saying that there's some Franken editing happening, but I don't think he has told his full story yet. So I think he's going to do that after the reunion, all of them airs. We saw the Mob Wives clip of like, he didn't do it to you, when Lisa explodes at Whitney. And we see Lisa getting on her phone of like, hey, Sean, I need an investigation open. I'm being accused of doing something I did not do. And I want to go the distance on it. The distance, Sean. So we come back and Andy's like, I want to see if we can get through this. And I would like to see if we could hear each other. And I would like to see if we could break through today. Cheyenne from Windsor, Connecticut said, Whitney, how do you explain Alibaba having the same stock photo as Prism's website? Okay, so Whitney, this is a little, so she explained, here's the explanation. That photo was there for about 48 hours as a placeholder that was sent from our vendor. It's not Alibaba. We always do a photo shoot. We hadn't had a chance. My partner is in Vancouver and did not know the login for AOL. No, she was doing the photo shoot in Vancouver. That photo was there as a placeholder for a short period of time, and then it was swapped out once we had a model for it. I do not source from Alibaba. I have a curated fashion affordable line. So because our biggest complaint was that people want to buy my jewelry, but they can't afford it. So I curated fashion pieces that we tie in like an intention to it when you receive the box. We have our custom designs that we do. I would not tattoo something from Alibaba. And Lisa's already like, that's what I'm talking about. Like she already just starts throwing in. So that was Whitney's explanation. So she's saying it was up there as a placeholder for 2 days on the website while they actually shot with her partner the photo shoot in Canada, and then that was going to be swapped out. Do we believe her? I want to say I don't care. I don't care if she sells Alibaba jewelry. I will say, and I hope in the future, Whitney will be very careful with those stock photos because it really can come back to bite you in the ass. I do think they do custom jewelry as well, but also I do think all of these ladies are looking to make a steep profit off of whatever venture they do. I mean, listen, on the Patreon Live, I got Harry's bolognese sauce. Lisa Rinna, my husband Harry has bolognese. So Sandra sent that to me as a Christmas gift, Harry's bolognese, and I did a taste test on the Patreon today. It's a wild taste, you guys. Like it's like if Celsius was a spaghetti sauce. Hard to explain. But, you know, these ladies are on there to be able to sell their wares. And that's why it's probably frustrating for Lisa to some degree, Lisa Rinna, that she can't sell Harry's Bolognese on the show. Like, because it's just such good advertising, no matter how you cut it. So Andy accepts this answer. And Andy continues with questions, says, Lisa, the rumor that Whitney was white labeling products from Alibaba wasn't widely known. Only one blogger posted about it. And Lisa's like, that's not true. And Andy continues, why bring it up on the show if not to discredit Whitney's business? And Lisa's like, okay, first of all, there was a bunch of articles that came out, but like, I defended you, Whitney. I said it's horrible. I had a very clear conversation with Meredith where I said I feel bad for Whitney. And when he's like, if you plant a story, if you bring it to camera, your intention was to get it out there. And Lisa's like, it was already out there. And Meredith goes, I didn't bring it to camera. I got bar mitzvah. I didn't bring it to camera. And Andy goes, excuse me, a random blogger blogging about something and the millions of viewers around the world that this show has are two different things. And when he's like, yeah, 10,000 followers versus our platform are two different things. So she like, which is so true, because even Reality Von Tease didn't have a high follower count. Like, you know, the reach of this show, Salt Lake, is so much bigger than my audience. It is just different. It is hard to say look at this like, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard for me to see the damage in that when their platform is so much bigger. So Lisa's like, it was going to be a thing regardless. I defended you, Whitney. Just so you know, I defended you. And Meredith goes, what I did was I took something that was brought up on camera and I made sure you found out about it. Unlike what has been done to me repeatedly when it's gone behind my back for weeks on end and I find out when I watch. And I can barely hear because of my hearing aids. And then I watch it and I read the closed captioning and I'm shocked. And Whitney's like, you stood at the bar with Heather, Meredith, and insinuated, oh, I feel bad for her. Well, I did. She had problems in her business. There was no problem. And Andy's like, Meredith, you didn't bring it to Whitney. You brought it to Heather. Because I was barely speaking to Whitney when she said that. So that's how you guys stand on your moral high ground? Is you say it behind my back and let my cousin bring it to me? So that's morally high ground? Jesus. Whitney goes, Jesus. And Meredith goes, I made sure you found out. Like Andy is like, all right. Carol from Millburn, New Jersey said, Lisa, you told your cybersecurity team to go the distance on this. What evidence were they able to find that proves you were not involved in planting the story? And Lisa's like, which I lost my mind when she accused me of doing something I didn't do. And I feel that she had told other people, which we have proof of the same situation. And then he's like, did they find evidence? Listen, so I had, and when he's like, did they find evidence? Yes or no? It's like A Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. You know, like, at least like, what do you want from me? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Did you rat me out with Alibaba? You're goddamn right I did. So Lisa continues, I told her, I go, show me the proof. Give me the proof. She kept saying she had proof. You said, I have proof. I have proof. I have proof. So I'm like, good. Let's get Sean, Circle Jerker, involved. I'm like, give me the IP addresses, everything. Sean, oh, sorry, not Sean Angie's, Sean, her IT guy. The Go the Distance guy. That's the Sean. And by the way, Sean, that's a joke. Anyways, Lisa's like, Sean can work with local police and find out exactly where shit is coming from. I love the fact that Lisa's my cybersecurity team will work with local law enforcement. It makes me want, like, it makes me want to have like a CSI crime show that Lisa leads with her cybersecurity team of like, this week we've got a new crime. We've got to find out who sent me this nasty DM. And there's like a team of like, my name's Randy and I work for Lisa Barlow and I'm in charge of, I'm a hacker, basically. Like, I would love if Lisa just had a ragtag team of just like cyber sleuths. And it's just like, it could be a separate spinoff where they tackle a new case each week. And you know what? It could be a Bravo case. It could be something that we're confused about of like, can you lift the lid on what happened between this fight with this housewife and this housewife? And then Lisa Barlow is the head of this cybersecurity team, like detective squad, and they all get sent out. And at the end of like, Lisa's like, tell me, what did you find this week? What do we have? And he's like, Lisa, this is what I found out. It turns out Candace was wild with Monique in that season of Potomac, and she did throw the glass. You know, like, that's great. Thanks, Randy. Just an idea. I'm tired, but I think it's a good idea. But anyways, Lisa said, Whitney never gave me proof she didn't have it. And when he's like, you know who it is. You have his phone number. So I think they're talking about Adam here. And Lisa's like, I don't have anybody's phone number. And Whitney's like, your bestie does, so she can give you that. Because Meredith has Adam's number. And Lisa's like, no, you have his phone number. You talk to him on the regular. And Andy's like, so no evidence was found. And Lisa's like, I should send you Sean's bill, Whitney. And he's like, Monique from moving on. Monique from Boulder says, Angie, Heather betrayed your trust when she told Lisa your video game comment. Why do you think Heather prioritizes her friendship with Lisa over her friendship with you? Great question. I love it. Yes. Why is that? Because I feel like we're stuck in the same shit as kids as we are adults. Like, it never changes that much. And Heather seemed to have wanted to be Lisa's friend in college and never got away from that. And it's this magic that I talk about that Lisa has that everybody just like bows down to her, and Lisa will never admit defeat. So she's really like intriguing in that sense, but all of these ladies will do it at the expense of the other ladies. Each one of them. They all have weird things with Lisa. But Andy's like, did that make you question your friendship with Heather? And Andy goes, Opa, I know Heather loves me. She's championing me, but that did make me at the time question where I stood with her. And Heather twisted my words and I didn't appreciate that. And Heather's like, I didn't ever say she was a bad mom. I said it's out of character for Angie. And Lisa's like, it is a bad mom to say your kid is running lawless and I babysit him with electronics. I babysit him with a robot. I've never seen her go low like that. I have never babysat Henry with electronics. Literally, you can see on the video cameras that I put in his room. Oh shit, that's an electronic. Oh my God. Angie says, you made it worse, Lisa, when you took it to her. Oh no, sorry. Heather, you made it worse when you took it to Lisa. And Lisa's like, I never even brought it up to you. It totally hurt me. And so now they're just talking over each other, like doing what they do best. So we see a split screen box of like Angie and Lisa, like, blah, 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 you know, like, blah, 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 you're a good friend. Blah, 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 blah. And then Andy's just finally like, Bezos, Opa, Bezos, Code Red. Everybody's talking at once. So we already in the first 12 minutes get a iconic Andy losing his mind and screaming. And he's like, Lisa, just like, it has to be a back and forth. And Mary Cosby goes, mute. And Lisa's like, I know, but they were talking. And I'm like, hey, just so you know, I gave you a pass. I like Lisa does this all chill, like, I know, but like, Andy, I was just like, what's up, yo? I just gave that, like, I'm just being super chill. What are you, Andy? No, I know. They don't know, Andy. You know what I'm saying? Chill, high five. Lisa's like, I just literally gave you a pass. I talk to you all the time on the phone, and I was like, Angie, that's a fucking shitty thing to say. I did tell Bronwyn, but I also said, I'm going to address it with Angie. I don't want anyone going to Angie with this. I don't want Sean to go to the distance with this one. It's like, that was a big deal. I said that to you. And Bronwyn says, you said it made me cry, and I'm really upset. And Lisa's like, I don't need to bring it up to anyone. And Bronwyn's like, she should know if you're upset with her. And Lisa's like, Bronwyn, do you want to be involved? And Bronwyn's like, yeah. And Lisa's like, oh, good. She's piping up. And Bronwyn does this little shoulder like move. She's like, if you want to get big with me, let's get big, Lisa. Yeah. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I'm here. First season. Let's do this. I can play too. I have the strength of Rihanna in me. Let's go. And Lisa looks a little shocked. There's a shot of Angie going, oh, whoa. Dramatic music. Our first break. Woo! I'm on fire! We come back from break and Bronwyn had just been like, yeah, let's go. You want to go? Let's go. And Lisa's like, actually, I don't want to go. And Bronwyn continues, I sat down at Bezos. You were furious with Angie for repeating a conversation to Whitney, yet you have repeated a conversation. You've repeated that conversation to me. What is the standard here? Conversations are repeatable when it's that couch? And Lisa's like, well, I asked you not to repeat it to Angie. You actually didn't, Lisa. You said, I'm really upset and I should address this with her. And I said, I'll handle it with Angie. I can speak for myself. And we flash back to that scene this season about that. And, they're continuing fighting. And Heather goes, Angie, I know you and I know your relationship with Lisa. And it felt like a shift. It did. And I was kind of trying to navigate like this new loyalty. And I have a book out and deep like what if just Heather just keeps sliding in? I have a new book out as well. And it just reminds me of my new book. But also, you have a deep like appreciation I had for Lisa. And it was new and fresh. I don't know what Heather's saying. Andy's saying, Lisa and Angie, where do you two stand today? It seemed like you got back on track. And Angie's like, we did at the aquarium. Remember when she bought Henry that big old snake, the snake little stuffed animal? Let this babysit you, Henry, this snake stuffed animal. And Angie said, I was waiting to talk to Lisa today to have this conversation because, I think sometimes when things are done by text or on phone, that everyone has different claim to what happened or a different perception. That's a lot of pressure on Andy. She's basically saying, Andy, you need to fix this. And Andy says, well, you said on your phone via Twitter that Lisa has a Park City mystery man, and a tweet from Angie Katzenavas pops up on screen saying, "My lips are full as my life, thanks to my doctor who I pay with my own Amex card, not a Park City mystery man's. Unlike Lisa's G-Wagon, my lips can't get repoed. I'm not your bestie in prison, so I'm not interested in a gangbang, but it's cute you two had to team up." Night. Hashtag Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I love, she's like, got a hashtag. I love... Oh, God, I love these ladies. Angie says, well, yeah, Andy, I fired back because Meredith started posting that I was a backup dancer to Jen Shah. And Meredith goes, well, it's a fact. And he's like, I don't understand why you would say that. She's in jail and I'm sitting here. By the way, that's... There's no way I could be in a WAP video because it is impossible to film in that prison. We've tried. But I love it. She's in jail and I'm sitting here. And Mary goes, I was asked about how I reacted to the scroll and I answered. It was an interview. And he's like, well, why did you think I'm a backup? Like what? And Lisa goes, no. I know what the question. And then he's like, no, Lisa, you're inserting yourself. Don't do it, Repo. You're inserting yourself. Hold on, because I want to go here, but I want to start here. Angie's like, I want to start with Meredith. I want to go here. I want to go back to you, but I want to start here. And Lisa's like, I'm trying to help. What are you talking about? And Meredith very passionately is like, you did a WAP video with Jen and Monica. And by the way, we flashed to this WAP video, which, listen, it's not going to get any VMAs, but it's not bad. But yeah, Lisa looks like she's like in Wicked or something. And that's Angie. And Meredith's like, yes, you were in a video with Jen Shah and you were backup dancers. And Angie's like, you started it with your interview. And Mary's like, they asked me a question about what my reaction to your scroll was. Remember Angie's scroll? And I said, and Angie's like, you said I should go back to being a backup dancer in WAP videos. Well, I said I liked you better. And Angie's like, as a backup dancer. Yes, as a backup dancer with Monica in Jen Shah's WAP video. Like, does she get paid every time she says Jen Shah's WAP video? Like, I was like, yes, in Jen Shah's WAP video, wink, that's for you, Cardi. And he says, let me be clear, I've been solo since I was 6 years old, and I'm nobody's backup dancer, okay? And then Mary goes, well, this is the problem, that you were a backup dancer in a video, and I said it. And he's like, I was not a backup dancer. And Mary's like, in Jen's video, like, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills at this point. And Angie's like, I don't even know how to dance. Was I dancing? And Mary's like, in Jen's video, you were not a backup dancer? And Andy's like, does Jen have a music video? And then Angie's like, yeah, well, one day we made fun, like a girl's video. And Andy's like a TikTok video? Yeah, it was like a TikTok. And Andy's like, well, then why are you offended by that, Angie? Well, she called me a backup dancer, Andy. You were trying to jab me, Meredith, and it was rude. And Meredith, like, kind of wakes up. She's like, it's a fact, Angie. It's been all over the internet. You open up the internet each day, it's there. Backup dancer Angie Katzenavas, very Greek and very in a WAP video with Jen Shah. It's there. I can't avoid it. But anyways, the whole point of this, that Angie just wants to keep saying, I am nobody's backup dancer. Nobody puts backup dancer in a corner. Nobody puts Angie K in a corner. But she keeps saying this, and it's upsetting Meredith more. So Meredith keeps like getting like more riled up. You were a backup dancer in her WAP video, and then they have a shot of Whitney. I love because Whitney it's like Jimmy Fallon in an old SNL sketch. You know how Jimmy Fallon would always break character, like he couldn't like keep from laughing. Whitney's the same way. Like there's a shot of Whitney. She's like, she's a viewer like we all are, and she's like, this is where the tweet started. I responded and I just said something funny of like, yeah, Greeks are great dancers. And we see this tweet of Greeks are known to be great dancers. That's how I dance my way to center stage. Snowflake emoji. Opa! Greek flag. I'll be adding this to my scroll emoji. Hashtag RHOLC. So Angie's like, the key word is Opa. And then Angie says, then Lisa pipes in and says, Mazel Tov to Meredith Marks on Twitter saying, the only scroll I read is the Torah. Hashtag RHOSLC. Heart emoji. Do you think they really tweet for themselves or do you think they hire people? Anyways, Lisa's like, I said Mazel Tov because I'm also Jewish. I'm Mormon and Jewish. And she said the only scroll. And Angie's like, Lisa, you knew. Angie, I am dead serious. She said the only scroll I read is the Torah, and I thought that was amazing. And I said Mazel Tov. This is how good this cast is. This is such an innocuous, stupid conversation that could be ended in a minute, and they are just making content right now. Angie's like, you didn't, Lisa. I wasn't paying attention. Oh, yeah. And then Angie's like, oh, because you're not on Twitter, Lisa, and you don't know what's going on. By the way, Lisa is a Twitter assassin. And Angie says, Lisa, you're the queen of Twitter. Angie says, you also said on Twitter that Lisa's G-Wagon was repossessed. And Lisa's like, I mean, I don't even know why you'd say that. There's a new 2025 Porsche sitting right next to it. And then we see an image of a Porsche and a G-Wagon next to each other, and it says Lisa's garage. What producer had to be like, hey guys, we need a shot of Lisa's garage real quick. We're going to try to make a little moment of this repo thing. Or does Lisa take this of like, here's proof. This is my G-Wagon that is not repossessed. Here's the proof. And then she keeps going, and there's also a new 911 coming. I don't know why my G-Wagon would ever get repossessed. And Andy's like, well, Angie, why did you know about her car getting repoed? And Angie goes, I heard it at dinner. And he's like, you heard it at dinner? She's like, yeah. And Heather goes, you told me that Bronwyn told you that her G-Wagon got repossessed. So now we brought Bronwyn in. Bronwyn was at the dinner. And Bronwyn's like, yes, that is what I heard at dinner. Yes. And Lisa's like, why would you say that? And why would you say that? And Bronwyn's like, well, we were not in a good place, Lisa. And somebody sent me a snarky message, and I say jokingly to Angie, somebody sent this to me. I wish people wouldn't send me that kind of messy stuff, and I probably should not have repeated it to her, but I am not the one who tweeted it to the world. Your beef is with Angie in this regard. I love how Bronwyn speaks. It's just like there's like an old timiness to us. Like there's like this sophisticated, like your anger isn't with me in that regard. It is with thou'st right there in fronteth of you. Like I love that kind of. I just love the way she talks. But she's messy, man. Like I love. She's like, yes, these random strangers will DM me information. I don't want it. I say, no, please, Meta, please, Instagram, put guardrails on your app. I do not want to see this trash about my friend Lisa Barlow. And then I was like, Angie, look. Andy says, speaking of money, talk to me about one of the most lavish gifts we've ever seen on the Housewives, Bronwyn, that $4 million necklace. And Bronwyn's like, oh, yeah. I kind of thought you were going to wear the necklace to the reunion. And Bronwyn's like, I thought about it because I thought that would clear up a lot of questions. And Andy's like, what questions? Whether or not I have and can wear it, right? That would clear that right up, yeah. And she's being really kind of like, yes, so that would clear it up right now, yes, She's really good on the spot, but you can tell there's like maybe I'm reading into this, an ounce of nervousness. And Lisa looks at Meredith and Heather. And kind of like, oh, here we go. And Andy's like, well, why are there questions about whether you have it? I love Andy knowing damn well where this is going. He's like, well, why are there questions where you own it? And Bronwyn's like, well, a lot of people tweeted me, texted me, messaged me, like questioning what. And Heather's like questioning what, like if it was rented or like, by the way, Heather's voice gets raspier. I'm in an ashtray right now. And Bronwyn's like, no, so I went to their vault at the jeweler and picked out a few pieces and they brought stuff to me. And I ended up with, you didn't see the earrings, not the studs, but I ended up with a pair of hoop earrings and they made me a smaller version of that necklace that I tried that day. Yes. And Heather's like, I don't get it. And Lisa's like, yeah. And Bronwyn's like, you don't get what? And Heather's like, I don't. I've got a new book. Why were there questions? I think because people felt like, why would Todd buy such an expensive necklace? Why would we do it on camera? That kind of thing. And Heather's like, oh, I wasn't invited on that trip. And then Lisa goes, oh, by the way, Emma says you didn't buy it. Who's the jeweler? And everybody's like, faces. And then Lisa's like, I'm friends with Emma, and she said you guys didn't buy it, or the hoop earrings, or the rings, or the necklace. Yeah, she said that nothing was purchased. And there's like just a bunch of reaction shots. Like, are they always on set of like, hold for reaction shots? Dun, 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 dun. Everybody has a confused reaction shot. Boom, boom, boom. Our second commercial. We come back from break. You couldn't hear a fart in this intensity. It is so intense. And Bronwyn's like, then Emma and I will have to take that up with each other. It's very weird a jeweler would tell someone else what I did or didn't buy. And when he's like, why did you ask, Lisa? I didn't ask. And Bro was like, oh, she reached out to you to tell you what my husband purchased for me. Yeah, she said you didn't purchase a thing. And Angie's like, Lisa, she did not call you. That seems weird. How would I know that she was working with Emma? And Angie's like, that's really unprofessional of her to do that. Would she really do that? I'm just saying that's what Emma said. And Mary's like, I would never shop with if that's what she does. Mary, you have not gotten Mary. I will not be shopping with Emma. That's on Mary. You do not want that Mary Cosby thumbs. I will not be shopping with Emma, says Mary Cosby. And they're all like, yeah, that's bad business. And Lisa keeps going, she said nothing was purchased and you've never purchased anything from them. And Andy's like, okay, so setting the record straight, you didn't, the $4 million, you got a lesser, smaller. And Bronwyn's like, yes, a smaller carat weight. Yes. And Lisa's like, from them? And Bronwyn's like, she's committing. She's like, yes. And Lisa turns to Heather. Emma said no. And Andy's like, but why would this owner reach out to you to tell you that Bronwyn didn't buy a necklace? All these people are dirty, man. And all these people that run in these circles and give each other information, dirty, just dirty. I love it so much. Keep going. And they said, Emma is not the owner of the jewelry store. She works for them. Yeah. She works there and she loans Bronwyn jewelry. And Bronwyn's like, she has never loaned me jewelry. And by the way, you've just lost Rihanna's business. I'll tell you that, Emma. I'll tell you that right now. You've lost mine. I was considering, and now I will go straight to Alibaba Prism. Angie says, oh, she said, hi, Lisa, Bronwyn didn't buy anything. And Lisa's like, no, she just texted me out of the blue. And she said, why does Bronwyn keep saying they bought the necklace? They never bought the necklace. And Bronwyn's like, she texted you out of the blue. I haven't talked to her in like probably 2 years, but yeah, I know her. And Woody's like, can you show us the text? And Bronwyn's like, that seems weird. And Andy goes, yeah, let's see the text. Yeah, I'd like to see that text. And then Lisa turns to Andy. She sent more than that. She sent more than just that too. Like, she sent a dick pic? Oh, or like more about Bronwyn? And Bronwyn's like, oh, now she wants to show more things that I said. And so Lisa actually pulls up the receipts on her phone and why can't we see it, Bravo? What is wrong with us? We pay your bills. And so Andy goes, oh, okay, the jeweler is saying, hard to read this. The hoops that you had on were hoops that you told them that you were sending us a wire for. You never sent and returned the hoops. And Bronwyn's like, I returned them. You said Todd didn't like them. And then Bronwyn says, this is really dastardly. I love that this is dastardly. It's very pernicious. This right here is dastardly. Oh. And Bronwyn's like, why would she be messaging you like this, Lisa, out of the blue? If you don't know her. I do know her. I knew her way before you. You met her at my Fresh Wolf party, which, by the way, Fresh Wolf is the brand that Lisa's kids started for that, baller life. I'm a Fresh Wolf man myself. But so basically it's like, why would she message you, Lisa? And Lisa gives us because she was frustrated with you. Because Lisa can't pronounce the R in frustrated. We've picked that up over the seasons. So she was frustrated with you. And Bronwyn's like, so disgusting. And then Bronwyn, I think, realizes that Lisa can't say the R in frustrated. So Bronwyn parrots back, she's frustrated with me, trying to get Lisa to say frustrated again. And Lisa's like, yeah, she said she was frustrated with you. Bronwyn's like, well, the next time I see you, I'll be sure to wear both of them. Wow. And Lisa's like, yes, please do. Like, she's chill as a cucumber, or cool as a cucumber. Bronwyn's like, that's disgusting. I don't know that we'll see each other anytime soon, but that's disgusting. And so Lisa asks Andy, did you read all of them? And Andy's like, it's not great. It's not great. And Heather's like, what did it say, Andy? And Andy's like, she feels a little burned by you, Bronwyn. She feels burned by me. It's dastardly. And why does she feel like that's between you and her, Lisa? Like, why is she bringing you into it? And Lisa's like, you can address Emma. But, she said that. And Bronwyn's like, well, I guess you went home and you posted those fashion show receipts, and I'll have to go home and post my jewelry. And he's like, okay, let's move on. So basically, listen, I think Bronwyn got caught in something here, a little bit of a lie. And also, I don't know if you're like me, but I would have been livid if she had really purchased that $4 million necklace. I think that would have been so disgusting on so many levels. I did not think that was real. I did not think, I just thought that would be so weirdly irresponsible. But at the same time, I know that's like a kind of a blind spot for me with the fashion and the wealth. Like, I like it. It's fun to see sometimes, but we also know there's like such a falseness to Housewives' wealth. We saw it with Erica Jane. We see there's such a manipulation with these ladies and what they earn and what their wealth is and their toys and their baubles that you just can't believe any of it. But I'm bummed that Bronwyn got caught in, I believe, a lie right here. Because in the Watch What Happens Live afterwards, she was like, yes, to clarify, I didn't ever get any of those things. But here in this moment, she said, yes, I got smaller hoops. And so that is technically a lie. So Andy does Bronwyn's introduction of a new housewife. She's just amazing. And we see her in the hot dog outfit, little moments that she had done all season, making fun of Whitney, the healed Whitney. So we're just going through her character storylines, her issue with Heather Gay, not getting invited to the Palm Springs trip. And we're seeing all of these scenes, and we have that iconic scene where Bronwyn's going after Lisa. Heather is shit-talking me for shit-talking someone else while I'm trying to fucking fix it, Lisa. I don't want to be involved in it. When it's me and somebody else, it's my responsibility to work out. But when it's you and someone else, my ass better ride your dick like it's my job. My dastardly dick better ride your ass like it's my job. Iconic. And he's like, all right, I want to start with your friendship with Lisa, Bronwyn. You recently said in an interview that you're on a timeout. When was the last time you two of you spoke? It's probably been a month, maybe longer, a little longer. Yes. You said recently, Lisa, that you were done recommending friends for this show. I did. Yeah. She's like, I did. Yes, I said that. And Andy's like, do you regret recommending Bronwyn? I don't regret recommending Bronwyn at all. But I think I'm done recommending people. There's only so many people I know. I mean, I'm a transplant to Utah, and I feel like I'm the one that always recommends everyone. Let the recommendations flow from the other ladies, please. I'm exhausted. I think we need the locals. Ha 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 ha, right, Heather Gay? Start recommending their friends. And Andy's like, who have you recommended to the show in the past? And Lisa's like, I mean, the list goes on and on. I think it would start with Heather, and through Heather came Whitney, Angie, Jenny. I think we're in season 5, so I think I have everybody. Bronwyn. And Angie's like, oh, also Angie H. Yes, Angie H. And Angie's like, and Angie K. And Lisa's like, Angie K came on as a friend for all of us. And Angie's like, well, Heather, I think, recommended me first in the second season, you know? So this was a cut scene from the Bravo release. Andy says, Tiffany from Michigan says, Bronwyn, was it disappointing for you to come on the show as Lisa's friend to have her turn on you? And Bronwyn's like, well, I think I feel differently now than I did then. At the time, I definitely did feel like you, Lisa, were not being a friend to me. I think I keep thinking something went wrong between Lisa and I think you see me kind of chasing her, and almost the whole season, what went wrong, what's wrong, and which you took as me nitpicking you, and now that I've watched it back, I've watched the way you are with Angie and Heather, and the things you said in your confessionals, I don't think anything went wrong. I think I was just unaware that we were not as close as I thought we were. I think I was Lisa's social friend, and I thought we were really good friends. And so I kept expecting really good friendship out of somebody who just is somebody who sees me socially. And Andy says, Lisa, what's your reaction to that? Whew. And Lisa goes, I enjoy Bronwyn, but it was definitely more of a social friendship. Brutal! Oh! Sting. Oh my God. We've all been in friendships or relationships like that, right? Like brutal. Ooh. Like, I truly believe, and I loved Bronwyn did this thing, and obviously she's playing her cards right, but she did this thing of like, I've watched the season back and my behavior, and I've learned from it. So it's like literally leaving this pathway of like, this is what I've gotten many things wrong this season, and I've watched my performance back. But Lisa keeps going, we weren't embedded in each other's lives. We didn't tell each other our deepest, darkest secrets. I've never invited her to give John a hand job. And I've always, thought highly of her. And he's like, Minerva Picaro on Twitter said, Heather, you didn't give Bronwyn a chance. Do you regret treating her the way you did? You better, Heather, because you got flack for it. Do you think you've been unfair to her, Heather? Heather's like, listen, I got a quick read on Bronwyn. I just wrote a second book because I thought I knew exactly how she felt about everyone. And so when I heard that she gave a completely different feeling to Whitney, it surprised me, and I don't regret it, no. And Bronwyn's like, there was more conversation in the car, and yes, I was hard on Whitney, and when Whitney and I had a conversation, I said to Whitney, I didn't leave there with a great impression after you stormed out. And Heather's like, you said you told Whitney she was iconic. And I have a question. Can I speak? I have a question for you, because in that moment, watching it and looking back, it feels like you always say no one was there for you. And I feel like I was always there for you. I was so supportive. And I feel like you won't claim me publicly as a friend. Dude, this is why I think I like Whitney so much, is just because, like, that feeling of that somebody that just doesn't want to claim. Like, we all know that feeling. And I think there's like Whitney truly did reach out to Bronwyn multiple times, and it just Whitney nailed that with laser-like precision of that's exactly what it was. Like, she liked the shinier Lisa Barlow and didn't Whitney is perceived as lesser than, and I think that perception has to be broken. I truly do. Even if you don't like Whitney, I think that perception has to be broken. And Bronwyn says, yes, that is something I see as I watch back. I very much was in a place where we were filming this where I thought you were a loser. And no, she says, where I thought Lisa and I were better friends and something had gone wrong. And I was trying to unravel what went wrong. And more often than not, I placed Lisa on a higher pedestal than the others. If there was an avenue to fix it with Lisa, I kept running to fix it with Lisa rather than seeing there were other friendships here to be made. And Andy's like, do you accept that, Whitney? And Whitney's like, I do accept that, because my relationship with Bronwyn is completely separate than her relationship with Lisa. And he's like, okay, good. And, when he's like, of course I'm going to forgive her. But that's, to newbies, especially as powerful as Bronwyn, when you come on the show, don't go for the shiny objects. Don't go for the Barlows. Go play a good ground game and befriend all. Like, Angie got so celebrated because she found this bond with Mary Cosby. She was the Mary Cosby whisperer. That used to go to Meredith, where Meredith like, yes, it's making a lot of sense, Mary. I love everything you're saying. But I didn't believe that relationship, but I do believe Angie and Mary. So if one door isn't open to you, go to the rest of them. Anyways, Andy's like, Heather, you seemed offended that Bronwyn wanted to mend things before Palm Springs. Can you blame her for not wanting to invite people she's not in good standing with? I mean, I have a second book. It was a move. Everything everybody does on these shows are moves. It was a couple trips, and I think I was never invited. I was never going to go on that trip. And it was very clear to me the minute I walked in your house that I was there to sing for my supper. And it felt hurtful. See, this almost feels just like a dick measuring contest of like, I've been here 5 seasons. I don't need to sing. Like, dude. Anyways, Heather just like, why would you want to create fractures in friendships that are newly fragile, And Bronwyn's like, well, did anybody else watching it think that I was only there to embarrass Heather or that I was trying to fix it with her? Like, I'd love to know. And Heather's like, well, it doesn't matter what you projected. It matters what happened. And he's like, Whitney, watching that conversation, what did you think? I know Heather so well, so I could see where Heather's perspective was coming from. The walls went up right away, but I also did see Bronwyn trying. So I think it was just a really sad miss, but I understand both perspectives. By the way, I think that's true. You can see both perspectives, but I think Heather was feeling herself a little bit like, I'm a star. Like, I have felt that very much so. And I think she was trying to assert her stardom. So like, how dare I not even just be included from the jump? And he's like, Carolyn from Bluffalo says, Heather blames your weight loss on you having an edge to you. can you see how you were giving Mean Girl energy this season? And then we are to our third break because everybody against reactions. Like, what? What? Mean Girl energy? Because wait, what? What? Uh-oh, break time. Come back from break and Heather's like, well, that was an interesting read. Well, I guess when I was heavier, I was more of an underdog. And like, so it was okay when I stuck up for myself. But season 1, Heather, has a lot more confidence than this girl sitting right here. This show strips you of your ego. Like I'm sensing a Heather Gay monologue starting, you know, like the music. Like this show strips you of your ego. It strips you of your confidence. And like when I was heavier, I had to fight a lot harder battles and I was a lot meaner. And I brought a lot more, you know, anger and rage than this season for sure. And Mary pipes up because I just feel like Heather is different. Mary literally just like, size-wise, Heather is different. Like, by the way, Heather does look amazing. Like they flashed back to, I think the second season a couple episodes ago. And you do forget, like I didn't in the moment, you know, like I didn't really think, but like she has done a very, not dramatic makeup, but it's a huge difference. I mean, yeah, but anyways, Mary's like, she likes herself more, you know, and she's pouring more love into herself, Mary says. I feel like when I first met Heather 5 years ago, she was very dark. She was not happy. She's trying to climb out of a really deep place that she had been left in from whoever ridiculed her. Whoever tore her down. And Heather, by the way, is just like shaking her head. Yes, yes. Oh, hell yes, yes. And Mary's like, she's different now. And she's more self-assured. And if she feels like she's going to come after somebody, now she's more confident to do it. And you are different, you know? And Andy's like, you always seem confident to me. And, you know, Heather goes, you have to have a lot more confidence to show up when no clothes fit. I'm wearing a stretchy jumpsuit. And I'm next to all these beautiful women. I had confidence in spades to do this whole show. That's an interesting point of saying like, it's hard. Like I see, but and this is the thing, you know, you do empathize with each woman's story and, you know, you do think about yourself. Like I have issues with my weight. I always hate, like I fucking hate going out in public. I don't like wearing clothes. I'm not a nudist, but you know what I'm saying? Like I don't like, but you want to go out and do things. So you have to be like, I'm not going to look my best. It's hard. Like it really affects you psychologically. But Heather says, I am happy and proud of myself. And I don't want that to make me meaner. I don't, you know, I am different, but it has nothing to do with the fact that I took medication that made me lose weight. Yeah, I don't give a rip about Ozempic. Like, take it or not, I don't care. As long as you're not taking it from somebody that like truly need like insulin, like if there's a shortage, then like that's a different conversation, obviously. But I don't think, do whatever you need to do. And he's like, I want to switch gears for a second. Tamara from Teaneck, that's great. Bronwyn, you discovered Lisa knows Gwyn's paternal grandparents. Did you intend on sharing that story in the show? Here we go. And remember, like Bronwyn says no. And we flash back to that scene where Lisa, remember, said, you know, they were in the airport and Bronwyn had held up her phone. This wasn't on camera. And she saw a picture. Lisa's like, I could have never imagined that his family is Gwyn's family. Because remember, Lisa has connection with Gwyn's father, who has passed away, his family. And Lisa is just shocked that she knows his parents. And Andy's like, Lisa, you knew Gwyn's dad. I knew him very loosely. Like, I'm friends with his parents. And they're like, she saw the photo and like, I know that family. I used to go to his mother's house and up the stairs, she had a picture of him. And he's like, wow, that is like just a wild coincidence. And Brown was like, I can't tell you. I honestly can't tell you a person other than Gwyn I've ever showed a picture of Gwyn's dad to, which is very interesting as well psychologically, because she really must have just locked this like, hey, I can't deal with the hurt and the pain of this. I will never, you know, like that. She has locked that part of her life out. Bro was like, I was very clear about that. I've never showed one to Todd. It's not part of my life. And Anne's like, you've never shown it to Todd? Well, he's seen it now. Yes. He'd not seen it before the connection. Would it be great if Lisa was like, no, I talked to Todd. He still hasn't seen it. Emma said the thing about the jewelry and Todd said he hasn't seen it still. Why have you been talking to Todd? No. Bronwyn says, I look like Gwyn. I don't know why I felt like maybe this was this thing I could share with you, Lisa. I could confide in you that Gwen looks like her dad. And how much that hurts me. I felt like our friendship was falling apart, and I felt like I was confiding these big things in you, and I was letting you in such a huge way with my daughter in the story. And Bronwyn's teary, and Lisa's kind of emotionless, and your responses did feel like you were defending them. But once again, isn't it interesting? It's something like, I'm going to share this with you because it's going to make our friendship stronger, Lisa. Like, you know what? It's interesting of like, that's how deeply Bronwyn felt about Lisa. And Lisa goes, it's the after show that you're referring to, Bronwyn. There's an after show that they do on Peacock, you guys. We've talked about it, but it's actually really good. They do it for Beverly Hills as well. They do it for certain shows, and they reveal a lot of information. And Lisa goes, I knew that this was a super sensitive situation for Gwen and Bronwyn, but also for a family that lost their son. And it's like, what did you say on the after show? You know damn well what he said. And we flash back to the after show, and Lisa's like, I had a long conversation with Gwen's grandmother, and she's like, we're open to meeting her. We're excited. And she's like, the last we were told, like, Bronwyn had a miscarriage, and there was no child. And then her son, who passed away's wife, reached out to Bronwyn, and she's like, but we never got to meet Gwen. So it was like really upsetting for them. So that's big information. Like, so it is wild though, because Bronwyn, like, everybody knew, the production and Lisa knew that Bronwyn did not want to make this a storyline. And then Lisa continues on with that storyline and adds a new piece to it with that they thought it was that Bronwyn had a miscarriage, that there was no child potentially, which is really damning to not do in front of Bronwyn. You know, this scene with Lisa in the after show is to Brittany Bateman. And Lisa goes, we filmed the after show before the show airs. So when I went off of talking innocently about my friend Bronwyn, who I really don't like, and how I feel for her and Gwen. And I also feel for another family that it's not about their house. It's not about the things they've accomplished. It's about their hearts. And Lisa reverts to tears. And that's how I know them. So I'm assuming this family is really rich, because she's like, it's not about their cyber trucks. Lisa's like, no matter whose perspective you're going at, it's the most sad thing that could happen to anyone. It really is. By the way, it really actually is. But Bronwyn's shaking her head like, oh, I heard for all of you guys though. And Bronwyn's like, that's not really what happened. And Andy's like, what happened? Lisa, we sat at that foot massage place and you said that you had spoken to his mother. I did. And she told you we thought Bronwyn had a miscarriage. And we flash back to that scene with Bronwyn saying to Lisa, I thought there was no way this person can know I have a child somewhere and someday not come for her. Did they not know? And Bronwyn saying, no, my dad called, Gwen's dad and her, guess her grandparents, and I'm still waiting for a call back. And then this is unseen footage that we are seeing for the first time with Lisa going, I think she thought you had a miscarriage and she didn't hear it differently. And so that's why I'm a little confused when I hear that your dad called them and spoke to them. And Bronwyn's like, well, left a message. Yeah, left them a message. So Bronwyn, that was unseen footage. And Bronwyn says, I asked production not to play those clips if possible. And Lisa goes, you didn't tell me you asked them that. And Bronwyn's like, because I did not want to out that he had any other details that would be identifying. I wanted to be very careful what was said on camera about these people. In the 18 years I've had Gwen, I have never told a single person who this person is. I have never asked for money. I've never said anything to them. So I was very careful. But you and I had a very clear conversation, Lisa. You are entitled to believe your friends if you want to, but you have been on TV for a long time, much longer than me. And you knew that going on the after show and repeating that I faked a miscarriage would do. I never said you faked a miscarriage. And you know how damaging that would be to me. I didn't think of it as damaging to you. You know how, so now they're like, it's like split box. They're both talking over each other. And Lisa's like, he has passed away. Gwen's father has passed away. And Bronwyn's turned to Whitney what the fuck? Tense music, reaction shots of all the ladies, which can only mean one thing. We've got our fourth break, folks. That was so intense because it is so real. And it really does make you think the journey that Bronwyn has gone through, especially with her daughter Gwen, But I will say, like, man, I know she wants to keep all identifying details out, but man, you now have hit the Bravo audience and they're detectives. Like, I'm so scared that they're going to out this dude like any day now. And he is passed away. And this feels like, it feels like Bryn in this past week's finale of Roni. Like, something's crossed a line. So I hope or urge the Bravo audience, and probably the Bravo audience that would do this doesn't listen to this show, but I really hope they don't out this guy and this family. And, like, unless there's approval on all ends. Would you agree, or do you want to just see everything? I'm good with not knowing. And but I think it does put out that false perception about the miscarriage thing to Bronwyn. But Lisa is fighting this tooth and nail. Like, Lisa will not accept defeat. And Lisa's like, you know what? I'm in a lose-lose situation here. And Bronwyn's like, I don't understand why you can't understand. And then Lisa starts, I am in a lose-lose situation. I am. And Heather's like, just say sorry, Lisa. I want you to be friends with them, Lisa, if you want to. I have not asked you not to, but you have to be able to see. And Lisa's like, I should have never said on the after show I should have never ever talked about them. I wish you didn't bring it to camera. I wish I would have never brought up their names. And Bronwyn's like, you're saying stuff on camera that is horrifying. And Lisa's like, you have said things that are horrible. And he's like, hold on, Opa, Bezos. And Mary Cosby, there's a shot of Mary Cosby, and she's just like, where am I? What is going on? And Lisa turns to Heather and goes, fuck her. Like, what? Like, Lisa, come on, dude. Come on. You've got to see, like, dude, even if it's fuck her in your head, don't say it out loud in this situation. And Bronwyn hears it and goes, fuck me. Fuck you. Tin roof rusted. You want to make this horrible human being that I'm not. Lisa's welcome to believe that if that's what they want to tell her this happened, but I don't understand why you can't have an ounce of understanding for how painful that was for Gwen and I, that you repeated something like that on camera. And Meredith's like, Meredith wakes up, Lisa's crying. I think that's why she's crying. And Bro was like, once you repeated it, it went everywhere. And Lisa's now in full tears. You think, what? I know. And Meredith and Heather, Meredith's like, they're all just talking over each other. And Bro was like, you could at least start with I hurt your daughter by saying that because it caused rumors. And you have been on the show long enough to know what saying that would do. And Meredith's like, rumors? Yes, I knew about rumors. Bro was like, you knew people would pick it up, you knew people would talk about it, and even if you didn't think that through beforehand, you could sit here now and say, oh my God. Yes, me saying that on the after show did do this. And I don't give a fuck about you anymore, Bronwyn, but I'm sorry it hurt your daughter, Gwen. And Lisa goes, well, that would be a lie. I think she meant about the, I don't give a fuck about you, not the, And Bronwyn's like, we could start at the very basic. And Lisa's like, this is where we have a hard time and where we struggle. You always say, well, you should be saying this. And Bronwyn was like, no, I'm giving you options for things you could say, Lisa, because you said none of them. I don't need options. This was a very complicated position. It's like when me and Sean will do 69. It's complicated. It's frustrating. And then Meredith goes, do you feel badly that Bronwyn and Gwen were hurt by what you said? Lisa goes, listen, if I could have just said what I needed to say, I would have said it. But it's like, then there's chime in from the group. I would never want to hurt Bronwyn or Gwen. I understand the magnitude of what I was asked to do. It was very heavyweight. Starts crying again. Two people that are like good people that might have some great future together. I feel like they have two very different experiences. And if they talk, they could figure it out. And Bronwyn turns to Whitney. She's not remorseful. And Whitney's like, I can't see over your dress, Bronwyn. She's not remorseful. She just keeps defending it. Just silence from the group. Very serious. And he's like, Bronwyn, at the end of the season, Gwen still hadn't decided whether to pursue a relationship with her paternal grandparents. Where are things now? What wound up happening? Bronwyn's like, that's in Gwen's court now. Lisa gave us the information when this all came up. And Gwen's 18. and she wants to handle it the way she wants to. And my take with Gwen is always that I don't share any detail other than I want her to make the choice that's best for her, and I'll support it. I feel like I've done everything I could do to make this better between the two of them, and given Gwen 18 years of nothing but positive things to say about her dad and his family, and it's her, she's got to handle it the way she wants to from here on out. I do believe that. I believe Bronwyn completely on this. Am I a fool? I believe, and by the way, I believe I don't know. I believe it completely. Why are you guys looking at me like that? I believe it. Andy says, I guess the $1 million question is, Bronwyn and Lisa, is there a path forward for the two of you? Silence. Contemplation. Bronwyn's like, I still feel like you are saying there's hurt on both sides and see where they're coming from. I still don't. And Andy's like, Lisa, she's looking for you to take up for her a little bit. Like Andy's like, she's looking for a little romance here, Lisa. And Lisa goes, I did. And Bronwyn's like, you don't have to, but you have to see how that will change our relationship. If there is almost nothing you can see from my vantage point. I don't know how I could be friends with someone and not even be able to sympathize with what they're telling me is such a personal, such a deeply hurtful situation. And Andy's like, I think she's just looking for a level of understanding from you, Lisa. And Lisa's like, I said I have understanding. I am so sorry that I fucked up on the daily and it affected, like just doing the theatrics, and it affected you. I am so sorry. And I feel bad for them too, because this is a horrible situation. So it's the same thing again. Like you're not getting through to Lisa. There is no... And Andy's like, listen, I don't have this much time in my life. There's a lot of hurt here. This is obviously really deep. I love Andy in his head of like, well, I guess we'll figure this out on season 6. Am I right, ladies? All right. We're not going to resolve this now. I just want to put a pin in it and just see how it develops. Like it's not a bruise. Well, I mean, I guess it is kind of a bruise. And at this point, Andy's like, we're breaking for lunch. We're all going to eat chili together. 1 hour. We got so much to get through, Andy says. And then Mary says, good job, Andy. And Andy goes, good job to you, Mary M. Like, Mary Cos, what a change. Like, throwing out compliments. Good hosting, Andrew. And Mary turns to Angie K and says, wow. And Mary says, now I remember why I don't miss these. Now, we see backstage, Bronwyn walking the halls, kissing Todd in the back room. Heather and Whitney, this is in like the Peacock version. They're once again doing their secret handshake. Like, God, stop. And Heather's like, Angie, you're not Mormon. You don't get the secret handshakes. None of you guys should be Mormon anymore. And then Meredith is in a back room with Seth. And Meredith goes, what's going on? I'm glad you guys are here. I love that it's me and all the boys. Because we see Brooks Marks. And Meredith's like, my room of men. And then we see Angie in a room with her husband and says, everybody's really emotional today. And I think maybe, who did she say was really emotional today? Sorry, I missed that real quick. Angie says Lisa's really emotional today to Whitney. And Whitney says, why do you think she's so emotional today? And Angie's like, well, she's got big issues to work out with you, Bronwyn, about me, right? And then back in Lisa's room to John, Lisa goes, I think it's frustrating. Oh my God, she did it again. I think it's frustrating. John Barlow just keeping a straight face. Like, I wonder if John Barlow ever goes, Lisa, you did the frustrating thing again. Like, it's frustrating. I know. I'm working on it. Are you kidding me? I'm so frustrated with myself. But no, Lisa's crying to her husband. She's like, all of it, and John, a good husband, says, I'd give you a hug, but I don't want to mess up your makeup. And she's like, it's frustrating. I'm tired of the hamster wheel. I feel like anytime they get shots like this, a producer should be like, okay, you're gone. Bye, Lisa. Thanks for this. Thanks for the 5 years. I feel like really hey, I don't want Erica. I don't want any of listen, toughen up, everybody. We got to get through this. And then in Bronwyn's room, Bronwyn is talking to Todd. Is like, are you going to come help me? And the Todd father's like, yeah, I could use some reinforcements, Todd. And Todd's like, well, I'm sure you're holding your own. Yeah. I could use some reinforcements, lovey. And then back to Whitney and Angie. Whitney's like, at some point, though, Ange, don't you think a rational human mind has to go, if I'm having the same conflict, repetition of conversation, because her and Bronwyn, it was a repeat with me. Like, at some point, don't you have to quote Taylor Swift and say, you've got to shake it off, shake, shake. No, she says, hi, it's me. I'm the problem. Whitney, name dropping T Swift. Back to Lisa talking backstage going, like, I feel like I was trying to be the best friend of Bronwyn this whole year. And I watch and I see. And I'm like, you had a consummate issue with me. And like, I'm like thinking we were good. And then in Heather Gay's room, she's just like typing away on her third book. No. Heather's talking to her glam going, I'm totally annoyed by Bronwyn's like Dame Edna act. Like, she's like, I want to start and my intention is to... I like her Dame Edna act, Heather. And I think Heather's a little jealous of her Dame Edna act. Heather's like, I want to make sure everyone loves me. That's you, Heather. Like, I love it. You can really tell, like, when somebody's being hypocritical, when they complain about something that is, like, a direct reflection of what they do as well. So Heather, like, but this is, like, by the way, I like Heather, but this is the real Heather. Heather makes fun of people, and, like, Heather can go low. But Heather's like, I'm going to say the politically correct thing and move on. And Heather hates how Bronwyn plays the Housewives. Heather says, I feel like she's running for political office and I feel like I'm in a TED Talk and I do not need to hear. Heather, you give fucking monologues every finale. Like, please, pot, black, kettle, let's all meet everybody, get in a room, get comfortable. Back to Bronwyn talking to Todd. I feel like I really said I'm going to start with some accountability. I'm going to take responsibility for this. And we got right into Lisa and Gwinovitz, and right away, Lisa and I did. And what was said about that? Well, all I wanted for her to do was say something. I'm not telling her what to say. She gets real spicy when she thinks you're telling her what to say, but I was just saying, could you apologize to me? Could you apologize to my daughter? Could you apologize? Could you say I understand it hurts you? Could you say how it's got out of control for you? Anything? Is there anything? Do you think I get any of those? No, of course not. I don't think you get that at all. We're not friends. We're never going to be friends, Todd. You know, she doesn't give a flying fuck. And he's like, you said you're never friends of any type. You were social acquaintances, you know? And Brian was like, no, I was a social climb for Lisa. She wanted to come to our jazz suite. Oh my God! Are these the jazz blowjob tickets? Is that... She wanted to come to our jazz suite? Oh, I think those were like courtside. These jazz tickets, really? Is basketball that big of a deal? Anyways, but Brian was like, when she wanted to come to a party of mine, you know, I'm clear now, Todd. And then Todd's like, well, she can come to our jazz suite and not have to do anything for it, so to speak. Oh, so he is referencing the BJ thing of like, well, we didn't have her do anything weird and kinky. We just let her come in for free. No handies or circle jerks on that one. Wow, that was all cut out of the Bravo app. That was exclusive Peacock footage right there. Wow. Okay. So we come back from break. We are in our final segment and all the men, the husbands are out now. So we got John, we got Seth from Canton, Ohio. Hey, what's going on? Columbus. I was in Canton, but then I went to Columbus where I work very hard for Big Lots. We've saved from chapter 11 a couple of times, working hard. And I miss my Meredith. I miss her bum. I miss her boobs. Very turned on right now. We've got Justin on the other side. We got the Todd father. We got Sean, Angie's husband. And so we come back. 5, 4, 3, 2. We are back with the ladies of Salt Lake City and the husbands. He does his Meredith Marks imitation. They all laugh except for Seth. Seth doesn't seem to get it. Like, what? Hey, what? Well, I don't understand the joke. What is Andy doing with his voice? He doesn't get it. So we do the greets again, like, hey, Justin, you know, how you doing? Did you ever restock your Vita tequila? Because remember, they threw it away earlier in the season. And Justin's like, in the process. And everybody has a good laugh. And Todd, welcome to your first reunion, the Todd father. I'm sorry I'm not greeting you in an inflatable costume like Bronwyn does. How do you feel about landing from business trips, Todd, having your wife greet you at the airport in costume? And Todd's like, look, it's just fun. Look, we're just having a fun. It's just a chuckle. Sean, welcome. And he's like, Sean, welcome to your first reunion. Gives him a wink. Hey, all right. But no, yeah, anyways. Yeah, by the way, he points out that they didn't have the husbands here last year. How is your experience been over the last couple of years? By the way, it's fucking been miserable for Sean. Sean has had baseless accusations thrown against him for the 2 seasons he's been on this. Like, it has been miserable for Sean. And Sean's like, I'm having a great time. Yeah, Andy's doing a great job. Yeah, everything's great. I'm here to support her as well. Yeah. Boy, tell us the truth, man. Andy goes, Mary, we didn't see Robert Sr. this season. Why? And Mary's like, well, obvious reasons. He does not want to be a part of this. And everybody laughs. By the way, maybe Robert Sr. is the only, like, maybe he is saying, like, by the way, you shouldn't want to be on these shows. Mary's like, he's happy with his life and he's not wanting nothing to interrupt it. I love that. Like, that shut down that conversation. Hey, John. Hey, Andy. How are those parallel parking skills? And everybody laughed because there was this great scene, remember earlier in the season, where we think it's one of the ladies parallel parking for like 10 minutes, and it turns out it's John Barlow. It was so good. And Heather's like, it changed things with me and you forever when I saw it. It's so great. Okay, Heather. Seth, how you doing? I'm great, Andy. You have any proof to share today? Proof, biatch! And Meredith goes, his wife does. Andy, his wife has proof. And Seth goes, I'll leave that one to the lawyer. Meredith is a licensed lawyer. And he goes, okay, here we go. For the last 5 years, the Salt Lake City husbands have managed to keep their skis out of their wives' icier moments. But this season, husbands and couples were openly taking swipes like they were authorized users of Todd's black card. Watch. And then we see clips of all the men in scenes and, you know, that awkward game in Palm Springs where Bronwyn was like, well, it's just, you know, it's up and down, like me and Todd's relationship. And Meredith like, I don't know a lot about Bronwyn and Todd's relationship, but it feels like there's a mild tension there. And we see that scene where the Todd father has his arms all crossed, all grumpy-like, and like he's like, in the 10 years we've been together, I've never seen you act the way you acted this weekend, Bronwyn, and frankly, it's not very becoming of you. And Bronwyn in that talking head says, Todd's approval means a lot to me. In fact, Todd's approval might mean everything to me. And then that clip at that one dinner where Todd tells the group that when Bronwyn and her started dating, he had one of his friends at the NSA do a background check on Bronwyn. And Bronwyn says, oh, yes, I can be a real snarky cunt for sure. And Todd turns to her, don't say that. Don't say snarky cunt. Heather saying, just Heather clocking this, you know, like, it just feels like he calls the shots. He's in charge. And she is grateful to be along for the ride. So that was the clip package. And he's like, Chris from Knoxville said, Bronwyn's Todd is obviously very blunt. Were you concerned about him being on the show? And Todd smiles, but I knew I'd get that one. Bronwyn's like, I let Todd be who he wants to be, and Todd and I have had some really important conversations as we've watched each other back. Todd's like, I saw the finale. Am I going to be expected to do circle jerks? That's not very becoming of me. Bronwyn says, I would have said before we filmed, while we filmed, that we had a good relationship, but we have a much stronger one now because there are things that I've seen from other people's perspectives that I want to change in the way I speak to Todd. And I won't speak for you, Todd, but, you know, you said similar things to me. And Todd's like, absolutely, I feel the same way. And I think one of the most interesting things is the number of people in this group that, you know, some of them don't even know my name and asserted things about me. That was a shot at Heather, because remember, Heather didn't know his name. And then Todd's like, which is strange, right? So I think people have opinions, and apparently they feel free to share them. Doesn't mean they're true. Bronwyn and I have a very strong relationship. We've had ups and downs like everybody. We've had a great time together. We've experienced so many things over the last 10 years, so many Starbucks mugs, and I think a lot of people are envious of what we've done together. By the way, that invitation is all over the place. And he says, I'm curious about the conversations you've had that have come about your behavior on the show, or things that you've seen from each other on the show that you say have made you stronger. And Ron's like, yes, I mean, I have a tendency to have a sarcastic bend to my sense of humor. I have a potty mouth. And I also think I always want to say something before somebody else says it about me. I want to make the joke first. And a lot of times that comes across Like I'm making a joke at Todd's expense or at the, stability of my marriage's expense. And that it does take its toll to watch the world think that I'm the one speaking negatively about my spouse or my marriage, and Todd didn't deserve that. And he's like, that's interesting. And have you seen anything of yourself, Todd, that you felt like, he goes, sure. I think clearly I can be gruff. I think, your viewer said, Andy, I can be blunt, maybe too blunt, too direct. And I've committed myself and to Bronwyn to work on that with her. I don't mean to be as assertive as I appear, but like a ninth grade type of argument, a playground argument set me off a little bit. And Mary goes, not ninth grade. And he goes, when she joined the show, Todd, was there anything off limits? Well, we said a couple things are off limits. Bronwyn's daughter, Gwendolyn, who I've been with for 10 years. She's 18 and I've been with her the majority of her life. So bringing up issues that were very personal and very sensitive to her was completely unacceptable to me. Almost to the point of being libelous is in what was asserted. So now libelous says the libelous. So obviously that's the miscarriage comment. And John Barlow pipes up and goes, who brought it up? Who brought it up, Todd? And Todd goes, your wife. Yeah, she did. And Todd goes, no, she didn't. And, Todd's like, yeah, she did. And Bro was like, he's talking about the after show. And what was said on the after show? Yeah, like John probably doesn't watch the after show. And John Barlow says, Lisa didn't bring it up. Bronwyn brought it to the camera. And Andy's like, I don't want to relitigate this argument. And Lisa goes, but Todd, I get where you're coming from. And Bronwyn keeps saying, he's talking about the after show. Saying the miscarriage. That's what he's talking about. And Todd goes, let me be clear about something. You asserting Bronwyn had a miscarriage, which was why. And then John Barlow goes, watch your tone. And Todd goes, I'm not watching my tone. Watch your tone. And then it's like, and John's like, okay, all right. He's like, okay. It's like, just like posturing. Okay. But it's wild. And it's like John Barlow in this moment. I was like, maybe this dude does get freaky. I was like, whoa, woo. And Seth is like, am I expect you to jump in here? I'm with Big Lot. I can't do this. What? And Andy's like, okay, come on, guys. Come on. And just like intense shots of all the ladies' reaction shots. Next week, the reunion continues. And Andy says, Lisa associated Sean's name with circle jerks. And Lisa goes, yes, I did. And poor Sean goes, God, I'm never going to get rid of this. Imagine being the circle jerk guy for God, the poor dude, man. Oh. And then we see a clip of Meredith on her phone going, I have been called mentally unstable, next level, psychotic disassociation. And when he goes, do you take notes? And then we see a scene with Bronwyn saying, I wouldn't even say it's an emotional affair. And Heather's like, so he didn't do it or he did do it? Talking about Todd's affair. And then a scene where they're all crying. And when he's like, so grateful that Robert Jr. Was brave enough to share that. Which, by the way, my prediction is that Whitney will open up about her father potentially having a similar issue, but I could be wrong. That's just me, guessing. And everybody has tears in their eyes. Like Andy's wiping away tears. That, folks, was part one of the reunion. We got through it. We did it, folks. But it doesn't end there because they fought it out online, Bronwyn and Lisa today. So let's talk about that as our one final thing. Okay, stick with me here, folks. On Bronwyn on Instagram today, she says, I know everyone hates text stories, but this is worth being very clear on. Off camera in a conversation with two producers present, I learned that Lisa knew my daughter's father's family. Given who was present, I realized this would no longer remain private. My family discussed the situation and I gave my daughter the option to handle it the way she felt was best. She handled it beautifully and you can see her addressing it on camera, which was her choice. Then I filmed a conversation with Lisa, openly sharing my feelings and giving her the full picture of what happened throughout the years. I made her aware that my father called his parents the day of her birth and that I spoke to them myself years later when his widow found out about my child. Wow, so that's new information. Both of those details felt intensely personal to share on TV. I did not have his family's contact info, but production was able to get in touch and they declined to be on camera. I continued to protect their identities while Lisa, knowing my concerns, continued to share details that could identify them. I still thanked Lisa for offering to and then connecting us, acknowledged the difficult position that put her in, and encouraged her to stay friends with them. My experience with them did not need to be hers. When it came up with the other women, I defended Lisa. Meanwhile, it was clear that they were talking about it behind my back. 6 months later, while taping the after show without me present, Lisa chose to repeat a hurtful falsehood that his parents shared with her, that they apparently thought I had a miscarriage and that Gwen was never born. This is clearly false, and Lisa knew it. Lisa knew my father called them the day Gwen was born. Lisa knew I had communicated with them and that the family acknowledged knowing about Gwen for years. She continues in another slide. There was no reason for this to be brought up on camera. She was aware of what saying this publicly would do. Since then, my daughter and I have been surrounded by vicious rumors, including that I was pregnant during her father's marriage. This is blatantly false. My daughter's father got married after my pregnancy. By choosing to speak about this on camera, rumors started that I have kept my child from her grandparents. This is so far from the truth. I have always wanted them to want her in their lives. Finding myself pregnant, shamed, shunned, and alone at 19 was the hardest thing I have ever gone through. I will not allow myself or my daughter to be shamed with these lies and rumors. I never wanted this to be brought to the show. When it came up off camera, but in front of production, I worked with the show and my family to navigate it as responsibly and privately as possible. My only concern throughout the past 18 years, including the show, is my daughter's well-being. So that is a lot. Holy moly. And then Bronwyn posts these screenshots from Facebook, a Facebook message, and it says, Bronwyn, I am sure you are just as surprised to hear from me as I am surprised to find myself writing this letter. I've again recently become aware my late brother may have a child. I have since spoken with my parents and have allowed time to earnestly ponder and pray, knowing the best approach to take myself as well as my family felt it best that I be the one to contact you. I cannot claim this is my first time hearing this, nor do I claim it is my parents. And then she purple, like she scratches a lot of writing out. But I think this was just a like, look, his family did know, and it was something that they had heard before. So she posts that. And then Lisa Barlow like screenshotted Bronwyn's first slide and writes in like red block lettering, like, stop lying, She goes, stop lying, Bronwyn. I would have never brought anything to camera. You were salivating to bring this to camera. You are a liar. You lie about everything. I am so over people accusing me of doing things I did not do. You studied the show since season 1. I'm done with the lies. I'm the only one protecting this family. You chose to bring this to camera to say things that aren't true and about them. Stop hurting good people. It's sick. Dude, Lisa, chill. Lisa, and also Lisa, like, you know, stop making this about you. It always comes back to like people painting me. Like, dude, in this situation, this involves her daughter. Like, this is a very delicate conversation, and Lisa is like piling it through it like a tank. I thought that was like kind of extra gross, Lisa doing that. But we'll see. You listen. There's so many shades of gray with everything, right? But what did you think? What did you feel? I hope you had a good time today. We had fun. There's going to be a Traders recap coming over the weekend. I'll be recapping that with Bergie. What an episode tonight. I'm not going to spoil anything. Don't worry. But what a great show today. If you get a chance, rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And I will talk to you this weekend. This was fun. This was my last one of the day. I can go to sleep. Yay.